Welcome to episode 3 of Malaise 2024. Our first match is going to be Lucina against Sheik. Looks like we're going to be on Pokemon stage. It's the... Oh man, I'm going to have to look at the name of that. Already this far into the video. So this is the expanded stage list, so you're going to be seeing more of these unique stages. This is also going to be hazards off still, so you're not going to get all the crazy Pokemon going on here. Oh, Sheik's barely able to make that back, not getting wrecked by... Yeah. Up air combos, two of them barely not enough to kill Lucina. And getting hit by point-blank needles, not something I'd recommend you do. Well, I guess I wouldn't recommend anyone do it ever, but... The point stands. When you're running at your opponent, you need to run in with a plan. If they are charging up a special move, such as Sheik's neutral special, or basically anybody's neutral special, chances are if you run at them straight ahead, they're just going to throw it at you. They already have the move out, they don't have too many other options available to them, they're just going to hit you with it. Down there hitting Lucina, not enough to kill forward air, not enough to kill either, even that far off stage. Sheik is a character who definitely struggles to find enough kill power to kill her opponents. Whatever that trait actually worked. Oh wait, but I just realized Lucina is the one who killed Sheik. Sheik still needs to get her first kill. Goes for an edge guard, completely fails. Up special is actually a pretty strong move, at least compared to the rest of Sheik's moves. Oh, okay, so Sheik got a drag down up air, but Lucina was able to shield before Sheik could punish it with anything. I will say the Sheik amiibo definitely does struggle. I mean, first of all, the Sheik problems is that it doesn't really know how to kill, but also the amiibo Sheik problems is that it doesn't really know any of Sheik's combos, which it's a lot you have to learn to be really good at Sheik. A lot of people actually kind of just ignore Sheik these days because it's a lot that you have to learn to become mediocre at Sheik. Just so many different combos you need to know. Obviously the kill confirms, but some of those can be either dicey or hard to confirm into or hard to actually land. I know that for some reason I can never get anything that combos into bouncing fish. I'm assuming that's a me problem because I've seen other people actually do it, but for some reason in an actual match it seems to be really easy to avoid all the punishes for that sort of thing. Now, the Lucina amiibo is doing a pretty good job in that she's always keeping out a hitbox, which it looks just like spamming your aerials. But also it does kind of put up this defensive wall that your opponent needs to bypass if they want to hit you. It obviously doesn't work if they have more range than you do, but as a sword character, granted in Smash Brothers that it's a lot less likely just because of how many sword characters are in the game. But in general, as a sword character, you're expecting to have more range than your opponent. They traded there, and they both actually got the neutral tech. So there's the thing, neutral tech is usually the quickest. And in non-tournament matches, most people don't know how to actually punish it, whereas any tech roll takes a lot longer and can be reacted to with something like a smash attack. So I can say that in my personal experience, I found a whole bunch of success just neutral teching everything, and the average Smash player base doesn't seem to know what to do about it. There are, of course, some characters who have certain combos or follow-ups that actually hit neutral teching specifically. But if you get to that problem, then you get to start doing stuff like mix-ups. Or my favorite, the don't tech but then just do neutral getup and it messes up the timing just enough to screw over your opponent. And you can see right there, landed one up air but wasn't able to get up fast enough to get Lucina with the second up air. She actually got swatted out of her moves. Dance around each other. And Sheik actually got a confirm into bouncing fish. I was talking about that earlier. That means it's a callback. Actually using bouncing fish yet again to get on stage. I want to say impressively quickly, but it looks like you actually have some lag if you land on any sort of platform. That being said, the alternative would have probably been to air dodge to the stage, and that has its own risks associated with it, so... Up smash on the platform, not quite enough to kill Sheik at that percent. Lucina going very low off stage, making it back. Doesn't have ledge invincibility, but Sheik isn't able to make it back in time. Now they're tied at percents at 100, and a back air is going to kill Sheik. That means Sheik will still be in this. Lucina has won her way out of this tournament. And for our next match, we have Wario against Bowser Jr. Alright, looks like we're going to be on the Minecraft stage. So I'll say Bowser Jr. as a character. So first of all, he's fine as a character. A lot of people don't really get how he works. And I'll say that probably his greatest strength when you're playing him is that nobody knows how to go against the guy. He just seems to be a very uncommon character. I can't tell you why. I mean, aside from the slightly unorthodox playstyle, also a part of it too is that there is a large percentage of people who will only play characters if they believe they're really good or give them a unfair advantage to win. These are also the people who are usually called terrible names in real life because of the actions they perform. But that's aside from the point. And Wario already getting the first kill. Wario's back air is a strong move. It's a kill move, obviously you saw that. And it effectively puts him in the planking position backwards. So it has more range than you'd think just because of the whole body displacement thing. Now Bowser Jr. seems to keep going for a lot of these neutral specials at the ledge. When your opponent is off stage, it's not a bad idea. When your opponent is on stage and you're firing a cannonball off stage, it is a terrible idea. Wario is just doing a great job of juggling Bowser Jr., who seems to have forgotten about his down air. So it's not a spike, and of course every character kind of wants to have a spike in Smash Ultimate. So Bowser Jr. doesn't have one, but he has a drill hitbox that lasts a long time. And aside from the drag down potential, it means that if you're ever trying to lag, you can throw out the move and then fast fall. And because it's a drill and it just stays out forever, it'll still hit the opponent. And that's good for you. Down air sending Bowser Jr. the wrong way. The opposite side actually could have killed. Wario doesn't have a spike either, but his down air does have a strong launching hitbox on it. Very end of the neutral air, sending Bowser Jr. not getting killed by the up air. He needs to do something to stay relevant in this fight. He's kind of just been the punching bag for 1.5 stocks. Getting an up air and no follow-up. Wario's down air from center stage, almost killing Bowser Jr. that time. And they traded. Wario actually didn't get his stock taken, so Bowser Jr. has a lot to make up. I wouldn't say that either of these characters are the worst of the worst amiibo we have. They both actually seem to do pretty well, even if Bowser Jr. seems to be struggling very much this match. Wario just catching that tech roll. I suppose when you're near the end point, it gets a lot easier, and, you know, Wario's down tilt is definitely a fast enough move to do it. Oh, great parry. Bowser Jr. hitting Wario back on his way to recover. Something a lot of people don't think to do often is that you can still hit your opponent even though your current mission is to not die off the side of the stage. Wario starts the up air chain, and he actually gets a, Build-A-Bear combo. Up tilt not enough to kill. Bowser Jr. must have used his down special to leave a bomb behind because it actually traded with Wario. He's thrown out a whole bunch of those all of a sudden. And Bowser Jr. gets his first kill. He's on his last stock at 100%, so things are not looking great for him. But he at least avoided getting made into a laughing stock, so Bowser Jr. fans have that going for them. Ah, that's unfortunate. So Bowser Jr. had to air dodge to not get hit by Wario's up air, but that also meant he couldn't grab the ledge. And that up air almost just ended Bowser Jr. That one also almost ended Bowser Jr. Ah, the waft doesn't... Oh, but there's the back air. Wario doing a great job of just wiping the floor with Bowser Jr., who he fought back valiantly, it just didn't work in the end. Alright, our next match, Meta Knight against Mr. Game & Watch. Looks like we're going to be on the... So the stage is called Gamer. It's from WarioWare, or it's supposed to be. It's based off of the minigame from one of those games. And Mr. Game & Watch gets a whole bunch of up airs and an up smash, and another up smash. He is doing great this match. Meta Knight needs to get his feet on the floor. Finally does. Now the match continues. Alright, Mr. Game & Watch retreating to the book platform. It's probably been his most valuable footing this match. Well, I don't know. If you're throwing out an up air, I don't know if it really counts as footing. Meta Knight almost got Mr. Game & Watch off stage, but I guess he underestimated how far... He overestimated, I mean, how far Mr. Game & Watch would have got sent. So Meta Knight, having multiple jumps, does definitely have a threatening offstage presence. He doesn't have a lot of moves that will straight up just kill you, or he doesn't have any spikes. Right there, he just got killed by Mr. Game & Watch for the first stock. Getting a forward smash at the ledge, that's a great way to kill a character as light as Mr. Game & Watch. Not that Meta Knight is that much heavier of a character. So he is heavier, but not by all that much. Oh, trying to trade with that up smash. It's a very good move, that Mr. Game & Watch up smash. Jab sent Meta Knight out, and he's able to actually fight his way back onto the stage. And then get killed by an up smash. Mr. Game & Watch is going to heal the full, about... Oh, no, he gets hit first. Meta Knight got one up air, but he didn't follow it into any sort of up air combo, which Meta Knight's usually pretty good at. Meta Knight was actually able to punish that. His up smash was just barely reaching far enough. Granted, poking someone with the key through the platform, unless they're, for example, a large character who has a hard time ducking under it, isn't normally that strong of an approach. Especially because you do have to deal with a landing hitbox, but you will be underneath an opponent who gets to use basically the entirety of their move pool to try to punish you. Double up tilt from Meta Knight, you don't see that often. Getting his shield bombed, if he had just used thrown out a neutral air, it would have hit the bomb, neutralized it, and probably hit Mr. Game & Watch too. Game & Watch makes it back on stage, and then they both proceed to play just off of the ledge. Meta Knight did reverse that up special though, so he makes it back onto the stage. Man, I will say the pacing of this match is... It feels slow because of the music, of all things. I normally go with the original audio tracks for all these videos, and the Gamer audio soundtrack, it's actually a little bit coordinated with the stage, in that you've got a whole bunch of the quiet crickets and whatnot, and then when Mom, the person who in normal stages... in normal rule sets you'd see popping out of the TV or going by the windows off stage, comes with like her own little audio cues. But in the Hazards Off version, you actually don't get that. Alright, Mr. Game & Watch is sent off stage, uses an up air to try to cover the ledge. Hits Meta Knight with the chair, and Meta Knight is able to recover. When you have 4 recovery moves, it's a little hard to get your recovery stifled. Up smash does not kill Mr. Game & Watch at that percent. I guess 60% is pretty early for pretty much any character to be killing. Goes for the shuttle loop kill, but he misses and he has to eat an up air for that. Mr. Game & Watch actually got the spike hitbox of down air. There is one, but Mr. Game & Watch usually uses it from higher up to just land quickly. It does have landing lag, but if you're hitting your opponent's shield on the same level surface, it seems to be pretty hard to actually punish. There's a landing hitbox and everything. That trade barely not killing Meta Knight. Both characters at a range. Oh, I misspoke, but it's actually accurate. They're at a range in which they would be getting rage, but also they're about where they could have killed each other. Meta Knight did get the first kill on Mr. Game & Watch. He has a lot of a stock to make up first, though, and Game & Watch kind of has a reputation for throwing out random kill moves, willy-nilly. Down air, again getting the spike hitbox. For any of those descending moves where your down air gives you extra momentum downwards, the spike you have to hit the beginning of it. A couple of moves have an exception, but for the most part, the spike is only ever at the start. Meta Knight got his life spared. He wasn't able to get comboed by all of the fish, making it to the ledge. And a jab at the ledge is going to kill Meta Knight. That game goes to Mr. Game & Watch. And up next we have Mii Swordfighter against Terry. Gonna be on Final Destination for this. Terry starting off with a point-blank power dunk. And he gets his percent easily surpassed by Mii Swordfighter. And Terry with the second power dunk, I hope he knows other moves. I've seen his other matches, so he should, but... Up specials trading at the ledge. Terry off stage. Mii Swordfighter doesn't seem to know how to actually edge guard with their moves. The jabs actually connected at such a far range that Power Dunk was unable to connect. Mii Swordfighter able to survive that. And Terry made the classic mistake of not doing jab jab Power Dunk. Turns out that Power Dunk is just the best jab 3. Well, it's significantly better than jab 3. So if you can go for it, why would you not? It even has a command input, which I forgot for the longest time. I'll bet a lot of other people did too. It's just the Shoryuken input, which is a staple across traditional fighting games. Mii Swordfighter uses the up special to make it back. I don't remember all of this amiibo's moves. Oh, Terry is now... He has go mode, but he's also at a high enough percent that he's not going to auto-heal out of it. At least anytime soon. At 30% it would take 6 rounds of auto-heal, and at 5 seconds each, I guess that would be about 30 seconds. That's right, because it's at approximately 1% per second. One problem that the Terry amiibo has is that he'll get put at 103, and he'll get go mode, and then he will auto-heal back to 98. Granted, I would say that for the majority of the match, having just your percentage being healed over time is stronger than sometimes having slightly later access to some of your strongest moves. If it was real people real people playing, I'd say then it's a lot more fuzzy, probably going in the other direction, actually. And of course, I guess you could always train your amiibo to, for example, give him spirits to start at 90%, and then almost exclusively use the Go Meter super special moves. Mii Swordfighter seems to have learned how to offstage gimp with their moves. That's gonna kill Terry. Alright, next we've got Zero Suit Samus against Sonic. Now I'm gonna warn you now, this is probably gonna be a really annoying match. I know, as someone who's posting these YouTube videos with the intent of people watching them, it feels a little bit weird to say, like, I'm not encouraging you to leave. However, these are two of the most annoying characters to go against. Sonic's known for just running away and camping, which is weird because as someone who's played as Sonic, not like, professionally or anything, but I have played matches as him before, I usually find that just running away isn't particularly effective. Like, you don't get anything out of it. It's not like, of all characters, Steve, where if you run away for long enough, you get all your moves upgraded. If you're Sonic and you run away, you're just away from your opponent. Zero Suit Samus has a little bit different in that, oh, she's grabbing the ledge, and okay, she was able to jump get up before then, before she got dragged off to the bottom of the screen. So this thing is with Zero Suit Samus is that you really can't, I mean, first of all, you can't camp out your opponent super effectively. You have a projectile, but it comes out super slow. Your whip move has some range on it, but that's kind of about it. And all of them can be punished. And even though you're a fast character, you can't exactly just run up into your opponent's face because they will punish you for it. So you kind of have to resort to the in and out play style, where you get near your opponent and then hope they screw up, or you can hit them with something and follow up with it. Once you do that, you have to get out of there. So yes, it does mean we have two characters who should probably be doing that. Zero Suit a little bit more than Sonic, I'd say, but I also haven't gotten him to any high-level tournaments, so I guess what do I know? Sonic's able to make it back actually to the main platform. The side platforms don't have ledges, so, you know, watch out for that. Generally, the design in Smash Brothers is that if a stage is solid, it's thicker than a stage that is not solid. I mean, a platform that is not solid. And that's actually a pretty good way to go about it. I don't think I've ever been confused at the thickness or solidity of a platform, except in, like, the stage editor, but then it's on whoever designed the stage. Also because the minimum thickness to make a platform you can go through is just a little bit thicker than I would imagine. But, you know, that's something they could maybe possibly fix in the next game. I think that if you have a platform that you can fast fall through, you shouldn't be able to bounce off the sides of it, but again, that's another quirk of the stage builder. And by that I mean the stage builder functionality in Smash Brothers Ultimate. I suppose a little bit of it could apply to the person who's actually building the stage, but there's only so much you can do to try to get around that stuff. Zero Suit manages to grab the ledge there. A lot of Zero Suit Samus' kills this year, at least, have been trying to grab the ledge and not be reversing your recovery. It's weird, too, because in general, you should be reversing towards the ledge so you can actually grab it, but for this amiibo, doing that would actually get fewer kills. So if Zero Suit Samus has to get retrained, I'm not entirely sure what I'll do. Up smash is not high enough to kill. Zero Suit gets sent off stage, playing on some of the low platforms, and gets back aired by Sonic. Sonic's back air is a, you know, good kill move. Well, not usually when you're on stage, but you can use it when you're off stage, and Sonic has a pretty good off-stage game, so he gets to use it, and compared to his forward air, it just sends people farther. Zero Suit Samus getting saved by the side platforms there. I assume that the CPU knew... Oh! Wow, I did not know that those platforms actually had ledges. I was wrong when I said they didn't earlier. Well, I guess that always proves there's something new you can learn about this game. There's just, you know, so much in it. Up smash up close, that's just going to get you kicked in the head. Zero Suit almost did a full loop using her tether recovery. That's not supposed to happen, or at least normally it's not supposed to. There is, of course, the physics enabled for that sort of thing. But normally if the platform is solid, it stops you from being able to do a full 360. Jumping instead of grabbing the ledge, an interesting choice. Mostly because I've seen many a player who have made a similar choice, and then you get hit by a forward air and you get sent off stage, and then you think you have your double jump, but then you don't, and then you die. Because you keep trying to mash your jump to come out and it doesn't, and then you use your recovery move way too late. And that's even if you have the opportunity to recover with it. Alright, both characters doing a great job avoiding each other. That could also be because neither of the characters were hitting each other for the longest time. That platform apparently also has a ledge. Zero Suit Samus seems to have known it and grabbed it with her tether recovery. One thing I can say about ledges is that any stage from previous games that's been put in Smash Ultimate, in general, they put a couple extra ledges on. Obviously, they're not putting ledges on where it doesn't make sense, but a lot of the older stages, especially in like Melee and, well, I guess there weren't too many stages in Smash 64, but a lot of those didn't have ledges, and you would just slide off to your death. We kind of stopped that in Smash Ultimate. And for this match, we have Link against Kirby Classic. Then the oldest amiibo we have in this tournament. Alright, looks like we're going to be on the Super Mario Bros. U stage. Kirby comes off strong with a couple of forward airs. Gets up smashed, not high enough to kill, but you do have to wonder on a stage like this because the top platform is so high up. I also don't know the blast zones as well. Kirby retreating back to the ledge, a questionable decision. I know that Link is a character who, he kind of falls like a rock, so he can't do too much stuff off stage. So if Kirby were to try to go for like an early off stage kill, that would be, oh, goes for the down air, not able to connect it. Funny enough about this Link coloration, so that's the Fierce Deity from Majora's Mask, and I will say, first of all, it's really cool. It's also really cool that it's actually in the game. But ironically enough, it's not actually a costume that this version of Link ever, like, has been in a game with. So already the timeline of the Zelda series is its own topic, because they just sort of made games and then people wanted timelines, so they just, wow, Kirby got the first stock. Some people wanted a timeline, so they just kind of made one, and that being said, they actually did do a pretty good job of making a functional timeline. And I do feel like with some of the other games, they have started to at least consider where they would place the game. And this is, of course, a timeline that has 3 branches because of time travel, so that's a thing. But anyways, the adult Link has never been the Fierce Deity. It's only young Link, who is, by the way, another character in this game even. Already, this Link is supposed to be the Breath of the Wild Link. I would say that the green coloration is just a little bit more iconic, even though they kind of seem to be shying away from it for a whole bunch of games, which is sad. I understand that for marketing reasons, you want your character to have something distinctive so that when a character looks at when a person looks at them, they can say, oh, this is Link from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Majora's Mask, Link to the Past, stuff like that. But also, it doesn't quite feel like Link when he doesn't have the green outfit on. I know that in Breath of the Wild, you get to unlock the green hat and hero's garb, basically, if you do basically every shrine, but because the game has a... Oh wow, that's actually going to kill Kirby. Alright, I'll talk about that later, maybe. I've probably talked about it before and forgotten. Next match, we have Jigglypuff against R.O.B. Japanese R.O.B. with the in-game American coloration. Never gonna have to stop explaining it. What have I done? Alright, looks like they're gonna be on Find Me. Jigglypuff gets first blood. A lot of the problem with a lot of Jigglypuff's moves is that they're unsafe on hit. Now, I understand that most of you aren't familiar with fighting game terminology. So, think of it this way. If you throw out a move and you miss your opponent, you usually are going through all of your moves' animations and throwing out hitboxes. Meanwhile, your opponent has time to kind of do whatever. And since these are fighting games, your opponent is usually going to take that opportunity to punch you in the head. So if you throw a smash attack in the wrong direction, that is an unsafe thing to do. Meanwhile, if you throw out, let's say, a quick forward air, you throw out the move, and by the time your opponent sees it's happening, maybe their character usually isn't even fast enough to actually hit you. All they can do is either block or hope that they didn't get hit. Obviously, if you're throwing out a punch point blank, they're not going to have any time to react at all. But even if you're doing it from a distance to control space or to show superiority, great rest from Jigglypuff, by the way, then your opponent will have a little more time because obviously they're not getting hit by it. So if you're throwing out a quick move from distance, that would be safe. And in general, the main design for a lot of these moves in Smash Ultimate is that if you hit the opponent with your move, you get actionable before you. Another rest from Jigglypuff. Fully charged forward smash is going to kill. That's kind of why, if you go for a rest, you really want it to kill, otherwise you can lose an entire stock for it. So anyways, back to the safe versus unsafe. Most moves, if you hit your opponent, they are safe because you get to do stuff before your opponent does, and that's kind of how combos are possible. And a lot of moves, depending on, you know, how fast they are, they can be unsafe if you miss. So you can see how the balance of power kind of gets adjusted for a character like Jigglypuff, who has a lot of unsafe moves on hit. It's usually at the lower percents, but there are moves that you hit your opponent and they get to act out first. So if your opponent just decides to end another rest, R.O.B survives because of the cave, Jigglypuff gets out quick enough. A lot of people probably don't know that if you hit something with rest, you get out sooner. And Jigglypuff, you move with a great mash there. And rest is actually on the topic of safe and unsafe moves. It's a very unsafe move, even on hit. You can see that R.O.B failed to get a charged smash attack punish, but if he had gone for anything quicker, he would have gotten it. But if he was at... So if you hit someone with Jigglypuff's forward air at, say, 0%, and they're just hitting the A button, they are probably going to hit you with a move. Which is bad for a character like Jigglypuff, who is one of the and another rest. Jigglypuff is getting so many of these. Jigglypuff is one of the lightest characters in the game, can't afford to be taking any additional damage, let alone whenever you throw out a move or a hitbox. If your opponent's also hitting you when you do that, they're going to be winning that trade because they're heavier than you are and they can live longer. R.O.B goes for a spike, gets Jigglypuff with the wrong hitbox, so it didn't spike. That probably saved Jigglypuff's life there. Trading. Jigglypuff lands. Alright, they're orbiting each other. Jigglypuff gets the next blood. R.O.B goes for a down air. Jigglypuff gets out first, and she's actually able to hit R.O.B because he went for forward air, but it hit way too far out. Aside from R.O.B almost just died to that. R.O.B with the point-blank gyro, I guess it works. Tries to combo it into an up air for some reason, especially since he threw it like 9 feet. There's no way that could have possibly comboed. Weak hitbox of back air. This is anyone's game. Kind of whoever lands the next impressive. Up air is not killing Jigglypuff yet. Another one probably will, though. Ledge get up. R.O.B gets a single down tilt. Goes for a back air. That barely didn't kill Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff lands a rest. Alright. I'm just going to wait for my heart rate to go down a little bit before I record the next match. Hope you guys don't mind. Of course, with the power of editing, I don't see how you could. Alright, next match. We have Stever against Pichu. Looks like we're going to be on Corneria. Stage that's been in, I'm pretty sure, every single Super Smash Bros. Game. The one in Smash Bros. 64 actually did look significantly different. It was flying through space, which, considering the N64's hardware limitations, like they can only put so many polygons on the screen, definitely makes sense for that game. If they had it pretty much anywhere else, it would have just taken up too much of everything. Like all this beautiful landscape in the background, and the N64 couldn't handle that, even of course a reduced version. Pichu air dodging back to the stage successfully. Goes a little bit high, but does get stage control back. So some of the traditional concepts that, you know, a lot of the high-level players know, such as stage control, they work a little bit differently on a stage that isn't, you know, the standard tournament legal. Oh, Pikachu knows how to recover from that. So, for example, stage control on this stage, at least when you're on the right-hand side, Pichu is just racking up percent, trying to hit Stever with one of these Thunder Jolts, and that one finally makes it far enough. He actually fumbles trying to get back. Pichu gets the right angle yet again. Oh, on stage spike. Pichu gets up through the down smash perfectly. No complaints. Goes really low, able to recover the... Again, though. Anyways, stage control. Basically, if you can back your opponent into a corner, they have fewer options that they can use. However, when there's a wall involved, things are different. You usually want to have your back to the wall, at least when you're at high percents, because bouncing off of the wall reduces your knockback by a little bit. And in addition, any path that... Oh, yep, you can see there, Stever got saved because he bounced against the wall. Especially at such a high percentage that he's at. Up smash is able to kill Pichu. Pichu's the lowest character in the game. And Steve's up smash already is a pretty strong move. And that's not even including the rage that he was at. So, when your back's at the wall, you get your knockback reduced, and of course, you use up a lot more of your launching distance because your person gets thrown at the wall, bounces off of it, and then uses what it's ever left. And this is something that's actually different on every single stage. Like, there's no universal rule, because it really does depend on where you are on the screen, what you think your opponent's going to try to go after. Kind of like how on stages with walk-offs, getting back thrown near the side of the screen is a great way to get a lot of cheap kills, even if it is incredibly risky. Basically, it goes to say that Smash Bros. Works a lot differently when you're no longer on the tournament stages. There's a lot more factors you have to consider. Pichu has just decided to deal with the self-damage from all these Thunder Jolts. Up smash, that's a pretty high up one on top of the wing. And of course, we've already talked about how Steve's up smash is just an incredibly strong move. I understand why it's like that way. So whenever Steve runs out of his tools, he needs to be able to have at least some moves he can throw out. But his up smash is probably the fastest killing move. If anything, since he's had such a... Oh wow, that actually worked out for Pichu. So Steve has gotten a lot of complaints in tournament and whatever otherwise, in that he kind of just runs away and mines until he gets his best stuff, and then he decides to start playing the game. And due to the flexibility of all of his stuff, and just it turns out blocks are incredibly powerful, he can do that pretty well, and the opponent just has to deal with it. Ledge Trump, nothing comes of it though. So if Steve were to ever get nerfed, I would say that making his up smash a little bit less powerful would make him rely more on his tools, but then that would make him camp more. Anyways, that's a whole long discussion I no longer have time for. And that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed and will continue to enjoy these videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.